Hey, what's up guys, it's Chris from AndroidPit.com. We're here with the Xperia Z5. Sony has just announced the Xperia Z5 along with two variants, the Z5 Compact and the Z5 Premium. Now we'll get back onto those in just a little bit, but as usual with most Xperia devices, you'll see a very familiar design language. The Z5 is very much like the Z3 Plus, which is known as the Z4 in Japan and the Z4V on the Verizon network in the US. Now, Sony has focused on a few changes. They're not immediately visible, but there's 5 in there that we've picked up in our short time with the device. There's some design changes, there's now a finger scanner, there's some enhanced audio through the stereo dual front-facing speakers. There's also some battery optimizations and an all-new camera, which is pretty exciting. We'll get onto that in just a minute. So, to take a look at the device, you'll see things are pretty much the same up the front. There's nothing very different on the front of the Z5 compared to the Z3 Plus. Same goes for the back. Everything looks pretty much the same on the back as well. The changes are really in the edges. So we've got a metallic frame on the Z5, but we've got a few changes in where the buttons are located. The biggest one, of course, is where the power button is now sort of elongated like a pill shape to house the finger scanner, and the volume rocker has now moved down closer to the dedicated shutter button as well. On the other side, we've got our micro SD and nano SIM card port, and on the bottom we now have our exposed micro USB charging port, as well as a little loop for attaching a cord if you're underwater or swimming with the Xperia Z5, which is of course waterproof just as with its predecessor. Now on the specs front, of course, we have actually an identical display to pretty much every other Xperia device in recent memory. It's a 5.2-inch Full HD display, same resolution and pixel density. We've also got the Snapdragon 810, the same CPU that was used in the Xperia Z3 Plus. However, in our time with this phone, we have not had the same overheating problems that we had with the Z3 Plus, where we were having force close problems in the camera using augmented reality and 4K video. The phone does heat up quite a bit, but it does cool down relatively quickly as well. And as I said, we haven't had any force closes or crashing. So that's a positive. There's a big update going out to the Z3 Plus this week as well. So hopefully some of those problems in the Z3 Plus will be patched as well. On the specs front, still we have 3GB of RAM, just like the Z3 Plus. We only have one internal storage option, which is 32GB, but of course you've got a micro SD expansion up to 128GB. On the battery front, we've got a 2900 mAh battery, which Sony is claiming will get you through 2 days and 1 hour of battery life. That's a claim we'll be interested in looking into further in the full Xperia Z5 review, so keep an eye out for that. But one thing you should note on all of the new Z5 series is that there's no wireless charging. You can get quick charge, but you'll need to buy an optional quick charge cable for that to be good for you. Now, swinging around to the back, we've got an all-new 23 megapixel camera. It's incredibly fast autofocus, 0.03 seconds, and in our experience, it's incredibly accurate and very fast. In terms of optical image stabilization, Sony's gone a little weird here. They've introduced hybrid image stabilization, which they're quick to tell us is not optical, but they're kind of saying it's a hybrid of optical and digital, but from what we can tell, it sounds like it's pretty much a software-based solution, not hardware at all. But that image stabilization works pretty well in photos, and in video it's fantastic. And so is the autofocus in video, actually. The continuous autofocus mode is really accurate. It will instantly focus on any moving subject in a video, and in our short time with this device, it's been pretty impressive. So if we take a look at the other variants of the Z5, let's look first at the Z5 Compact. So much like previous compact versions of Sony's flagship, it's just a smaller package housing pretty much the same specs. There are a few differences though. Instead of a metal frame, we'll make a drop down to a plastic chassis. Of course, the display is not as dense either. It's a HD resolution and it's a much smaller screen size. You'll also lose 1GB of RAM, so there's only 2GB in the Z5 Compact, and of course the battery is also smaller. If we switch tack now and go up to the other end of the scale, to the Z5 Premium, we make the switch back to a metallic edge, but we also make the massive jump to a 4K display. Obviously it's got a much bigger screen as well, but 4K display is crazy. Obviously the best thing about that is that you can now watch 4K video, which you can record on your Z5 Premium, on your phone, which hasn't been possible before. There's also an option to upscale everything on the phone to 4K, but that's basically just a trick of over sharpening, and it's going to absolutely destroy your CPU and battery, so beware if you want to take advantage of that. The Z5 Premium also has a larger battery, of course, 3,700 milliamp hours. It will set you back a pretty impressive €799. We're in Europe for this preview. The Z5 Compact, on the other hand, is at the opposite end of the scale of €549, and the Z5 right in the middle at $699. Now, all three devices will be available in select markets in September sometime. We'll keep you posted with more details. In the meantime, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you for more details on the new Xperia devices and IFA 2015.